Right here.
There you are.
That's my boat. That's the one.
How many did you evacuate, you said?
I lost count at 4,000.
My name is Carolina Salguero. On 9/11, I was a photojournalist, and I got to the Trade Center in my powerboat. I saw mariners pull off the biggest boat lift in history and more, and their feats have been largely overlooked. I went on to found PortSide NewYork, and on the occasion of the 10th anniversary of 9/11, I thought it was important that the public learn about the maritime responses to the attacks.
This is a story of people doing their jobs, doing them really well, and applying the skills that they use every day for improvisation, for spontaneity, for being able to jump at a moment's notice as conditions are changing, because that's what it is to work on the water.
It was an eye-opening experience for me to even design this exhibit, dig into the content, look at all the ships that responded, try and figure out how we could tell this story.
And so each of these boats would take a few people.
Yeah, I mean, more than a few people. Like how many can you fit?
The harbor community stepped up and evacuated close to 500,000 people in just 9 hours. Simultaneously, they began supplying Ground Zero. By September 12, emergency ferry routes connecting Manhattan to the boroughs and New Jersey were created, with more routes and new terminals set up over the next 2 years until PATH train service was restored.
We did what we needed to do to get the city operational.
The collapse of the towers left a horrific mess. Original estimates put it at 2 years to remove all the rubble, but the marine industry came up with a plan to use tugs and barges and got it done in only 8 months.
Yeah, they were taking the rubble right there. Actually, what they did is they had to dredge it right there at the seawall.
In all, 2,400 barge trips were made, keeping 93,000 trucks off city streets.
Obviously, this exhibit is incredibly important because many people have come through who are like, oh, I didn't know this happened.
Walking around, it's just been amazing to step in here and particularly through such an important event, realize, wow, this was something significant that I feel like I just hadn't known about previously.
Manhattan is an island.
It's easy to forget that when you're standing out of sight of the water. But we're so dependent on our bridges and tunnels that we take them for granted.
In an emergency, the tunnel can only take so many people. The bridges can only take so many people. When we have to get out of here, we're going to need everything that floats.
People seem to be learning a lot, and that's good. If people learn and come away from it with sort of provocative questions, that's a good thing. It's not an exhibit that answers a lot of things. It opens up your mind to questions and tells you stories about what people did in a crisis.
There was like a sea of tugboats coming from Staten Island, heading from Manhattan. I guess they realized the same thing.
I live here, and I did not know about the whole maritime operation.
This is something that I certainly didn't know much about.
They never talk about how many people were actually saved.
Yeah, a lot learned that day.